The Stage Door.
5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Hey everybody, it's the Stage Door Show. This is your host Dave Hondel, and I have with me a special guest today, Christopher D'Angelo. He is an overall performer and entertainer out of Columbus, Georgia, and he submitted, during our casting call, he submitted an amazing dance piece video that I want to get into with him in a little bit, but let's bring him in. Hey Christopher, how are you doing?
Hey Dave, I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, and first of all, thank you for being on our show. We had a lot of our judges were just amazed by your performance. We all thought that it needed a little bit of extra attention, so that's why I wanted you to come on the show, so I appreciate you doing that. I know dance is kind of near and dear to my heart with my kids dancing throughout their childhood and even currently, and I see that you did a lot of regional theater, Chicago, Newsies, Tarzan, Dreamgirls, Sister Act. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So talk about your regional theater career, and do you still perform regional theater, or tell me about your career there?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I don't think I could give it up, honestly. I hit the ball rolling at a very young age, fourth grade, and then I go on to Albany State University, which is an HBCU, to get my degree in theater. And then after graduation, my career kind of kicked off. My first gig was at the Springer Opera House in the chorus line, and from there it just took off. So I'm very blessed to have been able to work and still to be able to still work.
Now, Columbus, Georgia is where you're. I don't know if you're from. Are you from Columbus, Georgia?
Yep, born and raised.
So the regional theater community there, I know there's spots around the country that are very strong in theater, and is the Columbus, Georgia area is that strong in theater?
We only have one major regional theater in Columbus, which is the Springs Opera House. So it's not as big. So I've worked a lot in the Atlanta area, at the Aurora Theater and at another theater in Marietta, Georgia. So theater is really big in Atlanta area.
Theater, I think overall in the South, my kids did regional theater in Florida, but I know that throughout Georgia, like you said, and around the South, I think in the Carolinas as well, it's big. But the regional theaters, I know a lot of actors and dancers and singers get their start in regional theater. I mean, some notable people like even Mandy Moore started in the regional theater and then kind of took off from there. So talk about that experience and talk about regional theater, because I think a lot of people, when they hear regional theater, they don't really think Broadway production, but it really is. I mean, the regional theater, the productions are high quality.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I've been a part of a lot of Broadway caliber regional theater performances. And one thing that's been told to me by a great director by the name of Keith, who is absolutely amazing. He made this comment one time and said that the only difference that separates the actors who are doing regional theater and the actors who are doing Broadway is that they're on Broadway. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Regional theater actors work just as hard as Broadway actors. We take it just as seriously. You have your Broadway actors, like you said before, who've been in regional theater productions and still to this day do regional theater productions, because it's not all the time you're going to get cast in a Broadway production theater.
One of the things that I also noticed that you do is you're a choreographer. So talk about that. Talk about choreo, because I know how hard that could be to put together numbers, and especially for big groups. So talk about being a choreographer, and how did you become a choreographer?
Oh my God, I was thrown into being a choreographer. When I started dancing, I did not want to have anything to do with making up anything. I didn't think I was good at it. I honestly hated it. So I didn't want anything to do with it. And my teacher and mentor and now best friend, Tamala Ransom, threw me into it and told me, hey, make up this. You're good. You just don't know. So I started to do it, and I started to gain a lot more confidence. But It is a lot of work, and I still sometimes second guess myself because in my head, I don't understand to this day how amazing choreographers can like see everything and put it together. The way just their process to me is so fascinating. I have like all the praise and worship for great choreographers because I know firsthand how hard it is you're literally like composing movement to be able to do that in a brilliant way is so amazing. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and I'm still definitely growing as a choreographer. Most definitely still growing.
You did some film and TV as well, and one of the productions that you were a part of, and you went through the process for a time, was So You Think You Could Dance. And I know it's a very popular television show, and it has been for many, many years. And, talk about that process and where that took you through it and what kind of experience that you gained from it.
That was a fun and long experience. I still have sore feet when I think about it. But no, I auditioned, did a video submission, flown out to California, went through the process. A lot of the process, you don't see on TV. Before you see the solo audition, I made it to the solo audition, made it to the choreography round. I didn't get past the choreography round, but they did give me like airtime on television and everything. So that was really cool, and it was really fun to just see the judges and what they look for in dancers. I saw some absolutely brilliant and amazing dancers not get through, but as a performer, you have to remember that your job is to entertain, and whether you have the best trainer or not, if you're not entertaining, you won't get it booked or you won't probably make it. So that was a big eye-opener for me. But the process was long. You actually wait a lot more than you do dance because there's so many people, and plus it's television. But it was lots of fun, a great experience. I definitely wouldn't mind doing it again.
Now, when you talk about, being for, obviously TV and having to make sure that you entertain, did they give you critique when you were dancing so that next time if you do this again, you can, change it up a little bit, or were they just looking for certain types of dances or genres of dancing, and regardless if you're great or fantastic or not, they can only take so many people? Or do you feel like that the process was, well, let's just say bluntly, was it a fair process, or was it basically for TV?
It's most definitely a fair process. It's really fair, and it's subjective. So I could have loved something and they could have not. I know in particular for me, I want to speak for me, the piece I took was very controversial. It was very emotional. And the one critique that Nigel gave me was he would not have loved to see a concept piece, but more of just my dance technique, which is why he just sent me on to choreography to see what I can do. And another judge just loved my smile, so she wanted me to smile more. But those were the critiques I got, and I took it and brought them to choreography round, and it was either they're going to like it or not. And, sometimes it's your time and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have. There's obviously, as a performer, and even being in regional theater, that you're going to hear no a lot, as a performer, and as it's you got to move on to the next piece, and sometimes it's not for you, it's not for you. But you also, I want to get back to the video that you presented to us as a submission, and I want you to talk about that video, because I also want people to be able to go and see it, and whatever platform or format you have it on. So talk about the piece that you danced to and really the significance about that piece, because I think it's important.
So I decided to do a piece to Strange Fruit by Nina Simone, and if you guys don't know who Nina Simone is, you should really go look her up. She's amazing. And Strange Fruit is pretty much about lynching of African Americans in the U.S. And when police brutality had became at an all-time high just a couple of years back, and we were hearing things about Trayvon Martin, I was really touched by that, of course, as a black male in America, and of someone who has experienced that, but just not to that degree, that I felt the urge that I had to do something. And for me, it was like, use your platform. You're an artist. Speak through your art. And so, like, I spent like a month just trying to be very careful on the movement I chose to do, the feel, the color, everything was thought out. I had men of different backgrounds, bisexual black men, straight men, a father, a teenager, an older guy in the video, a lot of symbolism in the video, and it just touched bases on just modern, what I think is modern day lynching, and which is police brutality. And I just wanted to touch bases on that and just bring light to that. And it was also therapeutic for me as an artist to be able to just dance that and not be judged and just not worry about so much the technique of the dance, but more so the emotion and who and what I'm dancing for. So that's near and dear to my heart. Yeah, so it was hard for me to do, but like I said, it was something that I felt like I had to do.
Yeah, and that was a very powerful piece, and I absolutely loved the piece, and it really spoke to what you're talking about. So you did a fantastic job with that. Now, how can people go and see that video? Because I think it's important to get that out there. So where can people go to see that?
It's on YouTube. My name is Christopher D'Angelo on YouTube. Dave, I will send you the link so you can spread it out. Because right now my social media is down. I know it's a bummer. But yeah, so Dave, I will send you the link and also shoot you the video of that piece. But yeah, it's on YouTube, and my YouTube channel name is Christopher D'Angelo.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that out there, Christopher. So again, thank you for that submission, because it really was emotional and powerful. So thank you. Now, when you perform, what motivates you? I mean, when you're on stage, Christopher, what motivates you to go out there and perform?
That's a good question. It's my love for it that motivates me. I think if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. I'm a firm believer in making sure that I do what I love to do. That motivates me, and I just feel like I have a responsibility to perform. God has given me a gift, and I think it's my gift to entertain and to bring joy by entertaining, whether it's, crying, laughing, you hate me because of this role I played, whatever it is, I was entertaining at doing it, and you enjoyed it, then I did my job, and it makes me honestly feel really good if I just entertain like just one or two people. It brings me so much joy to know that little old me, I'm only 5'2", can bring so much joy to a person's life for an hour to 2 hours.
Speaking of Nina Simone, I'm going to go back to that because, anybody who, again, like you said, anybody who's not, heard of Nina Simone, go on to Netflix. There are documentaries about Nina Simone that will blow you away. Just an amazing performer, amazing, life. Everything about Nina Simone is amazing.
Amazing at everything she did. She was not shy about talking about anything. So I knew that if I was going to do a piece to Nina Simone, I definitely had to be brave.
Yeah.
And not be shy about what I wanted to talk about.
No, you really did good by Nina Simone on that piece. So again, thank you. The other thing I want to ask you here is what's next for you? I mean, as far as the dance, and I know you have a BA at Albany State for theater, and I know you have voice acting as well. So what do you want to do next? I mean, where do you want your career to go from here?
My biggest dream, of course, since I was in fourth grade, has been Broadway. I'm still pursuing that, and film and TV. Because of COVID-19, a lot of us are out of work. I was just in the production of Singing in the Rain, and our run got cut short. But I do have some things that hopefully I'll be able to do this summer if COVID-19 kind of, allows that to happen. I will be in a concert version of La Cage with the all-star alum cast member from RuPaul. I can't say who she is right now, but
that's good. That's awesome to hear. Now, I know being in Georgia, we dropped a podcast today with the winners of the casting call that we spoke about earlier that you submitted to, and we spoke to Brietta Calloway, and Brietta is actually based in New York and Atlanta, and we talked a lot about Atlanta, and I interview a lot of people from Atlanta, and Atlanta is really becoming a booming entertainment city where there's not only theater but there's TV and film and you name it, there's music, everything's going on there. So you're in the good spot. You're actually in a good spot there.
Yeah.
Well, you already performed there quite a bit, but
I've been fortunate enough to work up there, and I feel of how things are up there, and great people, absolutely amazing performers, and like you said, there's so many opportunities there, film, TV, stage, you name it. It's really becoming a booming place for entertainers and performers.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Christopher, I can't thank you enough for spending the time to come onto the Stage Door Show. We recently started social media, but we've been doing this for a couple years, where we've been doing the podcast to try to push the independent artists out there that as much as we can. So again, at the Stage Door, that's what we do. So we want to wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. And we know that you definitely have the talent to go a very long way. So again, thank you for sharing that talent with us. And again, very powerful piece. And thank you again for your submission. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. I had a great time. Like I said, I'm stuck in the house on COVID-19, trying to stay safe. I hope everyone else out there is doing the same. And I wish the Stage Door nothing but much more success. And hope you guys reach more bigger audiences than you already are. But I've had a blast with you, Dave. Thank you so much for supporting indie artists and other artists out there. We really, really appreciate it.
All right. Our pleasure. All right. Good night, Christopher. Thank you again.
All righty.